Today, I want to talk to you about scientific communication. You probably already talk or write differently, depending on the audience you're interacting with. There are three important things to think about. 1. Consider your audience. 2. Use specific language and terms. And 3. Use data or diagrams to help you better understand. Let's look at an example I did when I was an intern, designing a greener toothbrush. The toothbrush had to address a few criteria: effectiveness, environmental impact, and cost. First, you should think about who your audience is. Knowing your audience is important because you need to know how to communicate with that person. With your colleagues, you should consider using precise scientific language to avoid misunderstandings. For example, during the testing process, I made measurements in inches while one of my colleagues used centimeters. When we discussed our designs, we both got different results for an optimal toothbrush size. By not saying which units of measurements we used, we couldn't talk clearly about how to improve our designs. Describing your design with specifics helps you and your colleagues understand each other's results and look for patterns in the data. On the other hand, if you're describing your design to your little brother, you can leave out specific details that might confuse him. Instead of telling him about the exact size, you can tell him that smaller toothbrush heads work well because they can reach the back teeth better. You might also have to explain things about your research to him that you and your colleagues already know about. For example, you might still have to explain to him that plastic toothbrushes don't break down and result in more trash, so you should explain your scientific work in a way that makes sense to them. But what if the audience is your client and you want to convince them that your design is the best choice? In this case, you may want to write to them instead of talking to them. With writing, you'll want to use strong evidence and scientific details that you might not include when talking to someone else. When you write your proposal, you should include the most important evidence from your data and show that your toothbrush addresses all of the criteria. For example, it's not enough to say, "My toothbrush is the best." But if you say, "My toothbrush has been tested by 50 people and got a clean mouth rating of 87%, an environmental impact rating of 3.4, and costs 50 cents less than any other toothbrush," your client can compare those numbers to other designs and see that your toothbrush got great results. Also, when writing for a scientific audience, make sure to use professional language because you want your designs to be taken seriously. That means avoid slang and use complete sentences and technical vocabulary words from the project you're writing about. Okay, I'll let you guys get back to your work. But remember to keep in mind who your audience is when you describe your ideas here at Futura and in your everyday life.